I have a question that I would like to ask you today. If the Holy Spirit is living in you, is he dealing with you? If the Holy Spirit is living in you, is he dealing with you? And somebody may say, what do you mean? To the believers, not the unbelievers. But if you say that you are a believer of Jesus Christ, can you truly say without a shadow of a doubt that you're being led to live a life that's pleasing to Christ? See, as I was reading over John 14, and as Jesus was talking to the disciples before he was going to ascend to heaven, and he was talking about that he was going to leave, that they was going to end up getting an advocate. And that advocate was going to be the Holy Spirit. So although Jesus wasn't there physically, he was going to be living in them spiritually. And see, the only reason in our lives as believers, it's the same as it was back then. It's the same way now. The only way that we can truly live a life that's pleasing to the Lord, the only way that we can try our best to live a life that's sin-free is because if the Holy Spirit is living within you and me. If today you're saying without a shadow of a doubt that you have the Holy Spirit as a believer and that the Holy Spirit is living in you, does the Holy Spirit deal with you? That's a question that you have to ask yourself on today. Does the Holy Spirit truly deal with you if he's living in you? Because see, the thing I have to wonder is people always say that they're filled with the Spirit. They have the Spirit of the Lord living in them. So if you have the Spirit of the Lord living in you, why are you still doing the same things that you used to do? Why are you still talking the same way? If the Holy Spirit is living in you, and you mean it doesn't bother you that you still treat people any kind of way, you can truly say the Holy Spirit is living in you and it doesn't bother you that you treat people any kind of way. It doesn't bother you that you talk the same way. It doesn't bother you that you dress the same way. So if the Holy Spirit is in us, see, the Holy Spirit is there to lead us and guide us. That is what the Holy Spirit is there for. And that's what Jesus was telling the disciples. Although he was about to leave, but when the Holy Spirit comes, the Holy Spirit would lead us. The Holy Spirit would teach us. So the same way back then that the Holy Spirit was going to lead and teach the disciples, that's the same today. The Holy Spirit is here to lead us and to guide us. And if the Holy Spirit is supposed to be in you, he's leading and guiding you. So you mean that the Holy Spirit is just letting you do whatever you want to do and not what he wants you to do? See, if it doesn't bother you that you still got that foul mouth, you can still talk down to people. You can still treat your spouse any kind of way and it doesn't bother you. You can still lay and play and never get married. You can still be in a common law relationship and you saying that the Holy Spirit is living in you. You saying that you're a believer of Jesus Christ. You go to church every Sunday, but you telling me the Holy Spirit isn't dealing with you about marrying that woman? You telling me the Holy Spirit isn't dealing with you about having kids all over the place? I want you to think about it now. If you truly say the Holy Spirit is living in you, you mean to tell me the Holy Spirit is not dealing with you about being in that same-sex relationship? The Holy Spirit is not dealing you with that? The Holy Spirit is not dealing with you with dressing half naked? The Holy Spirit is not dealing with you with that. That's what you're telling me on today. You can still go the same places that you used to go before you said you knew the Lord. And now you saying after the Lord, you still doing the same things. And you mean to tell me that the Holy Spirit isn't dealing with you, but he's living in you. We must overlook our lives because the Holy Spirit is there to teach us and to guide us in the right way so we can live God's way. God's way equals the right way. So when we start living the right way, which is Christ's way, it's no longer our way. See, the Holy Spirit can't live in me still, and I can sit in front of that TV and want to watch pornography, and it's not gonna convict me. See, if the Holy Spirit is living in me, I can't sit up there on my job and get an attitude with customers and the Holy Spirit not convict me and say, you're wrong for that. See, if the Holy Spirit is living in me, I can't sit up there and treat my husband any kind of way and the Holy Spirit doesn't convict me and let me know something is wrong. If the Holy Spirit is living in you, you mean to tell me it doesn't bother you every day you get up and you cuss your kids out? Every day you keep living the same way every day, and you're saying that the Holy Spirit is living in you. We must seek to make sure that we have a relationship with the one true and living God, because the Holy Spirit is there to guide us to live a life that's pleasing to God. Every day of our life, we're called to live a life that's pleasing to Christ. And the only way that we can live a life that's pleasing to Christ is because of who dwells within us. And it's supposed to be about Him. It's no longer our way, but now we're doing things Christ's way. So on today, somebody needs to truly ask themselves the question: if the Holy Spirit is truly living in you, is He truly guiding you? Why is it that it doesn't bother you to get in your vehicle and you can still listen to any type of music? How can you say the Holy Spirit is living in you? How can you still treat people any kind of way? How can you still talk to people any kind of way? How can you continue to still do things your way, which equals the wrong way, and the Holy Spirit just wants you to live the right way? How can you still say, I can drink if I want? How can you still go out and get drunk? How can you still say I can smoke as much dope as I want to smoke, but you saying the Holy Spirit is living in you? And if the true Holy Spirit is living in you, you mean to tell me that He's not dealing with you? We must overlook our lives, because again, one day all of our eyes is going to close, and we will have to answer for the things that we do and don't do on this world. And ask yourself truly, are you living a life that's pleasing to the Lord? Are you living a life that's glorifying the Lord? And on today, if you need to seek the Lord and go to the Lord and say, Lord, I truly need you. I need to start living a life that's pleasing to you. So when I leave this world, I want to live with you. So I always remember my closing. Self-examination is the best examination, and Jesus Christ is Lord, and He's all we have. Have a great rest of the day.